Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Human Design Advantage, where we are demystifying human design with the Empire Heyoka and
me, Danny Guru, human design matrix reader, apparently.
yes, Mr. Matrix Master himself. So,
I'm a
welcome
2/4,
back.
so I don't know these things because I'm a 2/4 profile, so I don't know.
2-4, and we will have to explain to our viewers exactly what a 2-4 profile exactly is.
Next episode, another episode, we'll go through all the profiles.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
So we are on actually episode 5 of Demystifying Human Design. And today we're going to be going over the channels and streams of awareness. So I will definitely make sure that next week we go over the different profiles. But Danny, do you want to give us a recap of kind of like what we've been going over up until now?
So the first thing we did, well, in the first 4 episodes, which will get downloaded here so you guys can sort of review them, the first thing we did was we went through literally what was human design? Where did it come from? Why is it a science? How is it genetic in our body? Why is it we become helpless but to live out our design or to fight against it and live out who we are not? We then went through the centers and we did some reading on a couple of charts just to see that, oh my God, the chart tells me something. And so we sort of decoded and demystified just what that was, what a chart is, that there are these centers, what these centers are doing, and how they're taking us away from our nature when they're open, how the open centers take us away from our nature. And then we also went through the types, strategy, authority, and the 4 types. We'll keep going back to that, to the strategy and authority, because everything's strategy and authority. If you're going to get into human design and just want to enter the experiment yourself, it's your strategy and authority. It's the strategy and authority for your type. Jennifer, you inform people to reduce the resistance. That's your strategy.
And I'm seeing it more and more. We were actually talking off camera about the awareness. I'm a mindfulness practitioner, and I'm very mindful. It's always, I'm an alchemist. So in the moment is where all the magic is happening, and understanding human design and being able to witness what is happening on a molecular level in that moment. It's bringing that awareness to where you can transmute it. So
right, exactly. And so have you noticed that you started informing people, hey, I'm gonna?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, even when it's uncomfortable. Yes. So have you avoided it a time or two when it was uncomfortable? Yeah, most people that do while they're experimenting, they find that they avoided informing people.
Well, yes, and it's interesting that you say that, because here's what I've been doing. Without even really noticing that I've been doing it or working on it, that when that does come up, how I inform or the vibration that I hold or how I direct it is all up to me. So if I get an uncomfortable or where I have difficulty informing, yep, I will take a step back and transmute that to where I'm informing in a different way, to where I'm switching around that.
Yeah.
Whatever that resistance is that's coming at.
And as you do it more over the course of this year of 2022, for instance, you'll just get better and better and better at it. That's the whole idea. So I'm a generator. I don't have any truth. I don't know a dang thing until I'm in response to it. Same thing with all the other generators. So my strategy is to respond, to wait and respond. So I still am outside of my own responsive nature from time to time. And I've been in this for a long time. So it happens now and again. And then I get frustrated, and then I realize, oh, you were trying to push the river, Dan. Mm-hmm. So that's the beauty of it. You witness it. And then you laugh at it. When you're aware, you get to laugh at yourself instead of sitting in the frustrated pile of being pissed that you didn't inform and you ran into resistance and everyone's getting in your way, or I didn't wait to respond and I run into all this resistance and I can't manifest anything because I'm not in response to it. So that's the experiment. You keep watching, I get to laugh at myself. Oh, you dummy. Look what you just did. That's okay. I'm perfect. Oops. So today we'll be talking about the streams of awareness and the channels. We're not going to get through all 36 channels, just like we'll never get through all 64 gates. Not on this format. It's just not going to be right. We want to start reading for people. What we want to do is for people to understand there's 36 channels in a body graph. They all do something. And I was thinking of doing that through the streams of awareness to start with, because we have awareness. Everyone is aware that we're becoming more aware.
Oh yes, everybody. I'm starting to see that play out in the collective a lot. So
A lot. Yep.
I did pull up the just now chart. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Is there anything you would need me to pull up for you?
Well, pull up first the wheel I sent you, if that can come up, and
yes.
If you're, it says keynoting at the top, and it's just a wheel. It's got a blank body graph on the inside that had some good definition that looks like it would show up well, on this format. That's it. And can you explode that out a little bit?
I think I absolutely can. We'll see.
Yep. Look at that. It's getting bigger. Okay. There she goes. Yep, that's perfect.
Okay.
So does your pointer tool work on this?
Can you see it?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay.
So down at the very bottom and at the very top,
15 and 10?
Let me start over. So there's the green triangle that is pointing down. This is an awareness center, the ajna. It is aware of our concepts. We do all our thinking here. And then down below, the triangle on the far left and the triangle on the far right, yep, the spleen and the emotional solar plexus. These are our three awareness centers. The spleen is our oldest mammalian awareness. It is aware of what keeps us safe in the moment. So it's moment-to-moment awareness of this is good, this isn't good. The emotional solar plex on the right, pointing in that one, yep. This is our newest awareness. This is what's waking up in humanity, and this is what's giving humanity such a hard time right now. Everybody's so emotional. Everyone just wants to drop F-bombs at everyone else because we think that they're supposed to do something with that, They're not. We're supposed to allow everyone to just literally be themselves. And as we start to wake up to that, suddenly no one will be quick to want to take that away from the other. So it becomes a giant allowing process where suddenly we're allowing everyone to be themselves, and that's what we want. So these awareness centers, mental thinking, immediate awareness in the moment, good, not good, safe, not safe, emotional awareness, bringing clarity over time through a wave. Up in the wave, we're psyched, it's exciting. Down in the wave, it's nervousness in our gut, and we're depressed and sad, and we don't know what's going on actually.
Yeah. And
now we always think that that's bad, but it's just a chemistry that's bringing us awareness. So I would like you to notice that it's shown most pronouncedly there are three streams of awareness through all of these centers. Start at the top, the yellow center going down through the green. That is just so obvious. There's three streams of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
See, they go straight down, right down to the throat. By the way,
yep.
All roads lead to Rome except for one. Everything is always trying to make it to the throat to manifest, where our species is designed to manifest. The throat is the center of manifestation. That's why it's always attracting attention. You have a defined throat, you know how to speak, you don't worry too much about the attention you do or don't attract. You have an open throat, the not self of that is trying to attract attention. It talks too quick, talks too little, it doesn't know what to do sometimes. It's uncomfortable about what it talks. Open throat people very often lose their voice plenty. They get groggy because they weren't using their throat right. They weren't speaking right. Bill Clinton's a perfect example. Open throat with 10 activations on there, nine activations on an open throat. That's hard to do. That man could speak anything. And if you recall, we called him Teflon Bill for a reason. He was a pro at speaking. So But notice these streams, they go straight to the throat for manifestation. Down at the bottom, see that root center? Yeah, again, that's a pressure.
3.
Yep, 3 and 3. And notice the two outside ones, they go straight up to the throat through the solar plex awareness and through the splenic awareness. So all of these streams are going through the awareness centers before they get to where we finally say something.
Oh, okay.
That's why we're always doing and saying. We can't stop talking. We can't shut up. Our ideas never turn off. We feel like there's no tomorrow, and we're always jumpy. You know, that's the spleen. Always jumpy.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
Spleen gets jumpy because it's our oldest mammalian awareness. I mean, we share this with reptiles, for God's sakes. We share this with our dinosaur ancestors. They had a spleen. I gotta turn the heat down. Hang on. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So, I'm still getting used to this camera, Jen. Thank you. So, these streams of awareness, they all go through an awareness center. So, look at the 3 going off to the right from the bottom. So, from that bottom root center. So, all awareness begins with a pressure. The root center is a pressure, the pressure to move. It's adrenaline. So that's pressure, baby. The pressure to move. So if you look at 41, look how 41 goes up to 30 to 36, and all the way finally up to the throat, terminating at 35. It's hard to see the numbers if you're looking at the screen, guys, but that's what they are. If you could outline that with your cursor.
I am looking for 41.
Lower right. The lowest right-hand number is 41.
This okay, right here.
So follow that like all the way up and to 36 and all the way up to the throat.
Yep.
That is a stream of awareness. It takes 4 gates to make a stream of awareness. These gates are 41, 30, 36, and 35.
I was gonna draw.
Oh, cool. Oh, you can. Oh, I love this. And you can remove that drawing when we do the inside one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coolio. So, this stream of awareness, this is our human experiential way. It wants to experience stuff. Everyone, no, I shouldn't say everyone, but when people first get into human design, they want to know what their gates mean. Well, what your gates really mean more than anything is what stream do they sit in? What stream of awareness do they sit in? I love my Willie kitty cat, but I put him in my room upstairs so he wouldn't he'll climb the green screen and his claws will tear it apart.
Aquarius is normally outside.
He's adorable. So more life, more animals, cows and goats when we can. So this stream of awareness, the picture changed.
I know. I got to pull it back up. I accidentally
I'll just keep
clicked
talking.
out of it. Keep talking.
This outside stream of awareness that you were looking at from 41 all the way up to 35 is our human emotional experiential wave. It's our experiential way. You could even go back to that picture before. Okay, this is good. Does your tool still work?
Yes, I have to.
Okay.
I can't blow it up when I draw on it.
Okay. So next time I'll just get you a bigger picture.
Yes, so I'll have to. Yeah, I can crop it.
Let's take the gross view first. All awareness starts with a pressure, and that pressure is to finally express, because all roads, all streams lead to the throat. Period. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're here doing. So as a species, when we try to answer the question, why am I here? We're here to manifest and articulate. We're here to say stuff and do stuff, literally.
And create.
Create. And how? Through our awareness. From the top down, the awareness is the yellow center at the very top. That's a pressure center too. There's 2 pressure centers in the body graph. The root at the bottom and the head center at the very top. So we're in a pressure sandwich, if you think about it. the pressure from the top, all the stuff we could possibly think starts with a pressure. And that pressure ignites conceptualizing in that green ajna center. And as it ignites it, suddenly it articulates it, or it can articulate it, shall we say. So how many times we run into a person and you know damn well they did not speak what was on their mind? You know, that's the norm. If you
Several times.
Yeah.
And what's coming to me about this is that, you know, the term abracadabra is I create what I speak.
Is that true?
Yes.
I love that. I didn't know that. Abracadabra.
Yes, that's why the English
I create what
language,
I speak. That makes sense. I get that.
when the English language especially, or even when you get into studying dialect, each, you know, it has a tone. When it comes out, it's literally creating magic.
I quite agree. So we do this a lot. We create what we speak. We do it all the time. Mm-hmm. So then by virtue of what you just said, we are all magic. I'll go along with that. So I wish there was an audience I could ask raise their hand who does not believe in magic, and, you know, watch maybe one hand go up, two. That's fine. Mm-hmm. So this pressure to pressure the awareness takes these channels that we're so used to. So those two channels on the far right, the outside channels that go up to the throat center.
These two?
Yep. So the one that started at 41 and went all the way up to 35. I'm just showing you this so that we can all see that there's these streams of awareness that we have to have. And it's not going into these great definitions of what each channel is doing, you know, explicitly, but it's enough to where when we start reading for people, it will all start to come clear. So
yes.
41 up to 30. This is our desire channel. It desires, it has hunger. It's hungry to have a feeling. And that feeling, it clings to that feeling. And we all know that. I want to go skydiving. It's our experiential way. We want to have it. It's very sexual. It's filled with desire and fantasy, and there's no rules to the fantasy. And it would explain why some of the wicked people that sit on top of us all, you know, their fantasies go unchecked. So look at some of the wicked shit they do. You know, no one's there to commune with them and put that fantasy in communal check with the rest of society. So you want to know why that happens? It's if they live unchecked for too long, there's nothing stopping this. 41 is adrenalized pressure for fantasy to drive a feeling. Hello, that's a lot, you know? And that feeling is always, I want to live through this experience. And then the channel up top, so this is the channel of recognition. It recognizes a feeling. Mm-hmm. And the channel above it that's going to manifest that recognition is 36 up to 35. The crisis. Yeah, the channel of crisis, basically. It's called the channel of transitoriness because it wants to transitory through all the different experiences. So by the end of a lifetime, people like to be able to say, I'm good, I can die now, been there, done that. That's what they say. Everyone wants, I got the bucket list was originated from the pressure of Gate 41 and explained in that movie with Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman as, quote, a bucket list. And it was brought to articulation through Gate 35. That happened in this stream of awareness. And that movie played out this stream of awareness. It played out all the other streams too, but it played out this stream as its overarching theme called a bucket list.
Yep.
So so it's emotional. It goes through the emotional solar plex. That means it's in a wave. The wave of this outside stream of experiential human awareness has a crash wave. It goes crazy up and it's so good. And then as soon as it's done, it comes crashing down. Look at 41 as if it's an empty stomach, and look at Gate 35 at the top of this as if it's full, or a gas tank. By the time we finally fill up, we go through the process of emptying out, and the next thing you know, we're back to 41 again. A new
Down
pressure.
here.
Yep. A new 41 at the bottom right of this root center. A new
Does
pressure.
Can it go any way? The energy go any way down?
Oh, yeah. It goes back and forth. Absolutely. Okay. But in this stream. And it doesn't matter if you have gates in the stream or channels in the stream. There's only 36 channels in the body graph. There's only 9 streams of awareness. So you got definition in one of them, and you're living out all of them because we live on a planet and other people have them.
Okay.
Question?
I'm trying to just wrap my head around it in a moment.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll just finish up on. So this stream of awareness is it's got a clinging fire. It clings to the feeling. And 36 always feels like a crisis, gate 36, because it's the gate of inexperience. It's about, I'm emotional. I'm up on my wave. I want to feel it. I want to try it. I want to have this. It's highly sexualized. I want to try that. I want to try this. It's reaching for orgasm is what it's reaching for. And what that does is, of course, it makes more babies, and which we went over on the last episode. But it'll try anything. It wants to jump out of a plane. It wants to drive fast. It wants a new car. It drives materialism in America. I can promise you that. I want to experience this. I want this. I want a new computer. I want a new Xbox. They just want it. And 36 is inexperienced with the new Xbox. Let's say it has no idea how to use it. So 36 is nervous. It just wants to try it. I'm inexperienced. I don't know. I don't have it, until finally it gets to gate 35 and it's experienced. And now we have progress. We have progressed. We're done. We did it. And now I'm full. I can empty out now. I've been there. I've done that. That's what this stream says. So
it sounds like there's a lot of playing on this stream and consumerism.
Oh God, yes, we play on it all over the place. Well, it's the stream of desire. It's keynoted with an overarching keynote of desire.
Okay.
So, what is limited by desire? Nothing.
Yeah.
Desire knows no limit except the limits we give it when we are in communion with it. If you desire to be this awful, awful thing, that won't work well in society as we commune with one another.
Okay.
But again, when you go way up top, those guys aren't limited, guys and gals. So whatever they desire, they don't have these limitations. Think about it. We have some awful people above us, and this is what's awful in them is unchecked desire. Doesn't mean don't desire it. It just means, sorry, you can't bathe yourself in blood, for instance, or whatever.
Yes, that's
something
well,
gross, something awful. You can't. It's not allowed. So
that's what I am thinking. Like
leave our kids alone too. Do you remember the movie Caligula?
Yes.
Unchecked desire. Unchecked desire.
That's a perfect example.
Yep. So this next stream in. So again, we're going through these channels. When I read for someone, I'll read these channels for you. I'll point out what they're doing to you. The next stream in, where it goes from gate 39, the provocateur, out of the
right
root.
Here.
Everything leaves a pressure first. First there's a pressure. That's the pressure to provoke, and it goes up to 55. It's provoking through pressure and adrenalized provocation of the human spirit. Gate 55 is our most aware gate as it relates to what is my spirit in all of this. Is my spirit full? Is it empty? Am I moody? This is a channel of moodiness. It can be stubborn. It goes up and down. It's called the channel of emoting. It emotes until its spirit gets full, and then it runs out and does stuff. Now follow the stream of awareness all the way up. Remember, awareness begins with pressure, goes through an awareness center, in this case, the emotional solar plex, and then creates an emotional wave. That wave is always going into the other and or being received from the other. That wave is transmitting its awareness when we are in communion with the other. Again, communion is in aura. As soon as we're within about 8 feet of anybody else, we're in their aura. As soon as we're within 6 feet, we are in aura, period. Just period. So again, I get suspicious about this stay 6 or more feet away thing. social distance.
Well, I thought about that too. I'm glad that you touched base on that, because that is like the more that I'm getting into human design and I'm seeing what happens when auras impact and paying attention, that the 6 foot, I knew that when they said stay away 6 feet, what is that doing to our connection with
It's making us all
humanity
sick.
and to the ecosphere?
It's making us all sick.
Yes.
And it's not mental sickness per se that you would go and talk to a talk doctor for. It's literal sickness. Your body is breaking down as we are not allowed to commune, and we have to stay 6 or more feet away.
Well, that's how illnesses manifest emotionally.
Period. Yep. And mentally and physically, they manifest through these streams, through our awareness being curtailed, being truncated, being squashed, stepped on, altered, or worst of all, removed by a 6 or more foot barrier. So I had mentioned earlier on one of our earlier episodes whether, how much of this information do they have way up top, above us, in that,
a lot
cabal of whatever those people are. Mm-hmm. I would assume they know of some of this stuff.
Well, JP Morgan Chase said that millionaires didn't follow the stars, billionaires did. They are very ritualistic. There's a lot of Gnostic and Hermetic and all sorts of magic that happens. You are going to be aware of stuff like this. And let me plant this seed. You want to be aware of stuff like this because they have been manipulating us our whole entire lives. And this will take it like a step further of how to manipulate.
They don't. I would imagine to the degree they're aware, they don't want us having this information. But Jen, since we grow up conditioned, I'm pretty sure, everyone has to go through a process. What's the chance that this elite class that lives above us, separate from us, what's the chance they actually have gone through their experiment, have become aware themselves, versus strategically just using some keynotes to realize, keep the humans 6 feet apart and it'll fuck them all up. Mm-hmm. One is an awareness of how to use it as who they are not, and one is an awareness of who they are. It makes me wonder about these things. Mm-hmm. Because humanity needs to commune.
I agree.
So this inside channel of the emoting goes up to through 55, through the spirit that we're trying to answer in humanity. Now notice, spirit is an emotional business. So what does it mean? What's the spirit of this thing? I don't know. I can express my own spirit. I can't express yours for you. That's why we need to be in communion. We don't know. It's this thing that's just waking up in us. And if someone says, my spirit feels too low, they're still just as likely to have someone come along and say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, kid, and shake it off. Well, there's some, value to that now and again, but mostly there's not. Mostly it's like the spirit is low. Okay, something good is coming. Every time your spirit goes low, you mark my words, there is something good coming for you, because your awareness is literally making your spirit become aware that in order to have a full spirit, something's going to have to change. It's under genetic pressure by adrenaline to go there. So if you have this channel, trust your chemistry. Yeah. Trust it. Don't look for reasons for it. For God's sakes, it's just a chemistry. It's just like a feminine menstrual cycle. You can't apply a reason to that. You can't, no woman ever says, I have my period, I quit my job, I want a divorce, or kill the dog. That's because they're aware it's just a chemistry. They must surrender to it. This is no different. And so, guys, I'm talking to you. If you have this channel of emoting, no, sometimes you're moody. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. And every time you're moody, allow it. It's perfect. And if you're married and your wife says, you're so moody, say, yeah, I am right now. And we'll educate her and she'll realize she has to allow it. If you're a parent, period, and vice versa. If you're a parent and your child has this definition 3955, now you can know there's nothing wrong with them. They need to be in their room. They need to spend a week trying to find the spirit that they lost. It's not that they lost it, they're going through an emotional wave. Now, the outside experiential wave crashes. It goes up and down in this crash wave. This one is far more subtle. It planes along at this even keel that just planes along until it spikes up or spikes down. It's a spike wave. It's called a spike wave. Now, Jennifer, you have this channel of openness right above this, 22 up to 12.
So when somebody has the channel, can you explain what that would look like?
Yeah, so, I explained what it looked like for the bottom channel of emoting. It's moody. It doesn't know.
No, I mean, like on the chart, would it be open?
When they have this channel, it would be colored in with a black, a red, or a striped, or a black and red connection. It would be black and red. Or black or red. I'm trying to look at
the other images, but it's not letting me. Okay.
Just imagine this line is colored in with either black, red, or both, just like all the other body graphs we've seen.
Perfect.
So 22 goes up to 12. 12 is our human, it's our individual articulating gait. 12 says, I know I can if I feel like it. I know I can or not. I know I can try or not. And it's an incredible manifesting gait, because when it knows it can try, boom, it's in motion. It can do, it can speak, it can talk. And when it knows it can't try, it's a great gate of caution. And what's it cautious for? It's cautious that gate 22 is going to come along and put it in an emotional wave. That's why gate 12 is called caution, and gate 22 is the listener in a sense. It's the ability to listen. It's openness. It's grace. Its name is grace. It's the grace to listen. You have this whole channel. So Jen has the grace to listen and the caution to know when to stop listening. You have the grace to speak. You have the grace to listen and then articulate back what it was you heard. Or you have the ability to speak and the power to allow others to listen. This is all something you're doing all the time. But it's in this stream of moodiness. Sometimes you're not in the mood. If anyone is going to love Jen, they have to know Jen's just not in the mood sometimes. Not in the mood for what? Not in the mood to go here. Not in the mood to eat that. Not in the mood to watch that show. Not in the mood to be next to the other. Not in the mood for whatever.
Just not in the mood.
Just not in the mood. Not in the mood comes with, I don't feel like it. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. If you're not in the mood and someone you're dating comes up and says, I know, honey, you're not in the mood, but tell me you love me. You're not in the mood. No. Now, if that person isn't aware of your body graph, they might take that personally. Nothing in this body graph is ever personal to the other, because it's just you. This is your body graph, whoever I'm talking to. And wherever your definition is, if you've got this channel of openness, 22 to 12, well, sometimes you're not open. There's a binary. Everything is a binary. So it's a channel of openness. It's the channel of closedness.
Yeah, yes. So, and that's important that people understand that as well, especially when it comes to relationships, because
totally.
Then maybe people will stop taking that upon themselves, like it's their thing.
Yeah. Or stop trying to direct the other. We have to work on this.
Yeah.
You have to change this. Let's get that changed in you. How about go fuck yourself? I'm not changing anything. And they shouldn't be asked to. Would we ask the child to change themselves? No.
No, we would not.
What we do as they start to get older, we ask them to change. We ask them to stop. And we start telling them what to do. And that's how they get conditioned away from their nature. And now suddenly, everything has an or not behind it. That's what I'm asking people to recognize. Yeah. It's the gate of caution or not. After you're in the right mood, Jen can, I know I can try or not. That's what gate 12 is saying. It's cautious over whether it will try. So as soon as you're in the mood, this manifesting channel, you can charge out and do anything. Suddenly you're on the move, articulating and trying, doing a thing. So it's open to doing this or not. And the grace to listen. The inside channel. The the inside channel. So go back to that root center, pull the root center up, because we're looking for gate 19.
Yep.
Again, genetic pressure to approach, and it's approaching principles. So gate 19 is always on. It's the human tribal way to approach the principles that will then do what it needs to do with the resources the tribe needs to survive. This is all about resources to have tribal survival. It's tribal. It is emotional. And this is called the channel of synthesis. It's trying to synthesize whatever got approached with. So the person approaches, and the person on the other side, I'm calling them people. The gate on the other side is saying, I do or don't like these principles. I will or will not allow those principles in. I will revolt if you try to change my principles. And if you go far enough, we will have revolution, tribal revolution, like when the French Revolution, all those people were very tribal, connected to each other, below the kingdom. And they finally stormed the castle and sacked the castle and killed everyone in there. That was very tribal. And they were driven by their principles at the time that said, you will not starve us out any longer. We're storming this castle. And by the way, since you went so far, you're all going to die. Now that happens. That's very tribal. It doesn't have to end in everyone's going to die. They could have gone to jail. In our civil society today, we would like to think they go on trial if they were bad enough. That's what they should do. These bad people need to get thrown on trial for the wickedness that takes place. This is in a ratchet wave. So notice tribal awareness on this side of the body graph is emotional, up and down in an emotional wave, because it goes through our emotional awareness. So we're trying to feel it out. We're trying to become sensitive. This stream needs to be sensitive and supportive. And it's all about the sensitivity to the approach of the energy. And what 49 is trying to do in this channel of synthesis is it's trying to take that pressurized 19 energy, and it's trying to put it to work for the tribe. Good. That's how that's supposed to work. And 19,
Interesting.
And 19, that adrenalized energy is trying to fix 49. It's trying to fix it in place and say, okay, I gotcha. So now the principles get fixed by the adrenaline. The emotional awareness to have a chemistry of our emotion gets fixed by gate 19, and they fix each other in place. And boom, we have an emotional tribal marriage contract. The marriage contract was born here in this channel of synthesis. Let's synthesize children through marriage and creating a bond. So it was given its meaning, its emotional meaning. You ever notice getting divorced is sloppy emotional business?
Very.
Yes, it's very tribal. It's very tribal. And so,
and a lot of it happens too much nowadays.
Yep, it sure does. The bonds are breaking down because of all the mess we're in, and this giant mutation we're going through that's in gate 55. Don't forget, these are all our genetic codons. Gate 55 and gate 49 are the histidin codon. Now, wherever that histidin codon is floating around in your body, helping to sew up your genetics, mostly in the solar plex region, that these two things are connected. So as we go through our mutative process that we're going through right now, this marriage it's going to change. It's going to alter. It'll alter. Hopefully, it'll reflect our new humanity. So the old way would have said, "Oh, you're married till death do us part, and love, honor, and obey," and had all this stuff that was old way stuff, and we're upgrading that. Through this contract was where we would have gotten things like the prenuptial agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Let's update this marriage contract and have some agreements inside. So notice that stream goes right up, but it takes a left-hand turn through 37 and 40. So boom, right there, 37 up to 40.
Mm-hmm.
This stream of awareness is tribal. It's keynoted with sensitivity and support. It's in a ratchet wave. So as it goes through that emotional solar plex that last week we would have covered is fired up by the sacral. So the sacral fires it up through that gate 6. And now all these streams of awareness are able to be aware. the gate 6.
This right here.
That's right there. Notice, remember last week we dealt with 59 and 6.
Yep.
So as 19 approaches 49, it's approaching something that's been empowered by the sacral, the life force on this planet. The sacral basically creates that life force, and gate 6 picks it up in the emotional solar plex, and it says, boom, I am alive. I am alive with the ability to have emotional awareness in a wave. So that wave is over time, over the course of a month, a person with channels in this stream of awareness. 40 to 37 is the channel of community. So we made a bargain. With that bargain, we go up to community, where we made contracts of sorts, and we approached with our resources, and we approached the principles, and those principles ultimately lead to community. Where else would principles go? They're not principles to, what's a good contract, like on the splenic side of things, or, principles of anything else but community. Basically, it says our human principles are in a stream of awareness that wants to build community.
Yes. It's in our DNA to do that.
It's in our and here it is. It's in our DNA to physically do that. Yep. Starting with the principles that are in the Histidin Codon. So I have a wheel that lists all of these codons, but I'm not a geneticist, so I don't know that I should even attempt to get deeply into
I wonder if we should try to get a geneticist on the show.
There is one I know of, and she's the one that taught me most about genetics, along with Chris Martinson from Peak Prosperity podcast, and a couple others. Andrea Reiki Wolf, I think it is.
Okay.
She's the one, when she hooked up with Ra Uru Hu back before Ra died, actually started to codify which codons went to which gate.
Wow.
Yep. So she still works for the human design. I believe she still works somewhere within International Human Design School and Jovian Archive. I hope she's still pumping out material. We got to get to her.
Yeah, no, that would be fascinating.
Yeah, let's get her interviewed on here.
Yeah.
Let's get her on.
Well, we'll definitely work on that.
Yep. So
okay.
So this stream is in a ratchet wave. This ratchet wave, it ratchets up, it ratchets back, it ratchets forward. That ratchet, look at it like a ratchet wrench. It takes a few steps forward, and then you pull the wrench back, you tighten up the screws. Click, 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 tighten. Click, 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 tighten, right? Like a ratchet.
Yep.
So sooner or later, while this emotional wave is ratcheting, if it ratchets up too high, it explodes, because it's keynoted with tribal support. So it can't just do what the crash wave does on the outside, which just explodes. You know what I mean? It goes way up and then it crashes down. You can't just do that, because it's too busy supporting the tribe. You can't come crashing down if you're tribal. You got to get up in the morning and milk the cows, because the kids going to school need to have milk.
Yeah.
That's tribal support. You can't just be moody like on the inside one, where it's the individual wave. So outside is the collective. The inside, the middle one is the individual wave, which is simply its own individual, unique, mutative wave. It's only for itself in the way that its spirit needs to be full or not. It needs that spirit. Now that's a uniquely individual thing. So when you get on the inside one, that's keynoted with support. So the individual one is seeking its passion, its romance. It wants its glory. It wants its soulmate in a way. It's passionate, that inside one. The outside one is experiential. It needs to be shared. The middle one, 39, it needs to empower the other to become impassioned with it. So but the tribal one doesn't need any of that. The tribal stuff, get down to business. We need to support the other. And I need to be sensitive to the support of that. I'm still emotional. So if you break this bond too much, if you break the bargains, the tribal bargains that keep everything moving and keep, the milk in the cup and the cows on the field and the chickens laying eggs and the barns being raised, and we can blow that up. That's just old-fashioned tribal stuff. There's new tribal stuff. It keeps you and I talking, Jen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This tribal community we're trying to reach together. America is now a tribe. The tribes of Europe would be the countries. So tribal it's a lot of things. But but it's got to support. Notice the tribalism in our world today. Hey, we've been argued at a bunch of times that, hey, for freedom and democracy, if that's what's really happening over there in Ukraine, which I have my doubts, but, because there's all kinds of forces above that. So I'm not buying into one narrative on any of that. It's bullshit to make us go into one homogenized narrative. The place is loaded down with millions of people. There is no one narrative. It's impossible. Having said that, there is some truth to, hey, for $1 or $2 more per gallon for gas, if it's, if we can limit that as little as possible, I'll pay it. That's a supportive nature. That's humanity's supportive nature, willing to support that. Why? To fill up the spirit of humanity. Why? To have the experience of having supported that and filled our cup. So notice I just rattled off the 3 lower gates off of the solar plex center. 49. Yes. These are the things receiving this pressure, turning it into an awareness, and then spitting that awareness right out through the ego or up to the throat. So if you mess with that tribal wave, what'll happen is the guy doesn't take out the trash 4 weeks in a row. The first 3 weeks, the missus is saying, honey, we made a deal. Like next week, honey, we made a deal. Finally, by the 3rd or 4th week, that ratchet wave has gone forward. It's supported. I'm doing man, woman, husband, wife, archetype examples. By the 3rd or 4th week, that ratchet wave is exploding. Take the goddamn trash out. That's emotional. Now, if that man is open emotionally and this woman and its wife is, if the husband is open emotionally and the wife is defined emotionally, well, that wave went into him and he, okay, honey, out the door he goes. But that emotional wave that went into him taught him something. You can't not take the flipping trash out. It's a bargain.
Yeah.
If you allow the trash to pile up in the house, you're unsanitary. You're going to get sick, disease, right? I'm taking it to an extreme, but all these things rodents will start to come in. You can't have that inside the house. We're trying to preserve the children. We were stupid enough to make them when we didn't know in our intimacy wave that went from 59 to 6. And now we have to be smart enough to preserve them 27 to 50. These are coming off the sacral.
The sacral.
The sacral center
okay.
6 follow 6 all the way through to 50. Doom goes right across that sacral 27 to 50. Mm-hmm. So on the left-hand side, we preserve the children. On the right-hand side, we make them.
Okay.
Yep. So that intimacy can have us acting real dumb. We can make babies where we didn't think we were going to make them. Oopsie. But once they're made, 19 will pressure 49 to have the right principles to drive 37's need for community and 40's need to work for the community. The emotional need to drive a bargain and give affection, and the ego need out of 40 to work for affection. This emotional solar plex has all these magical qualities that we have words for. 37 it's the gate of affection. Now, what the hell is affection? How do you go to the store and buy anything with affection? You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. How do you dig a hole with affection? You don't. You need a shovel. And I need to dig a hole. Affection's not going to dig that hole.
No.
Whatever it is. How do you learn how to play the piano? You got to stop and practice over and over again. But yet we respond to this amazing quality we know of as affection. And it doesn't even have to be deep love. It can just be a stranger can give you the affection. And suddenly we are so touched. We are so opened up by that affection. We are so moved by that affection. We enter into bargains. We are now willing to do the work. The ego comes out and says, I will do the work. And in the archetype of the example, one partner gives the affection and the other partner does the work. And
that's so fascinating you say that, because it's so now that I'm thinking about it, that's true, because how people interpret the affection.
That's right.
Like for me, and this would go into the 5 love languages, mine's service. So when people either take notice or do some type of service or that type of affection, yes, then I'm willing to put in the work. So
Right.
now that you say that, I'm bringing that to the
Right.
awareness.
And we lived out these archetypes up until not that long ago, just within the last few decades. We're still living out these archetypes en masse, all over the world.
Okay.
It turns out to be a male female archetype of an example very often, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that way. The archetype is the ego. Gate 40 works, and gate 37 gives affection for that work.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the temples can be built, if we want to use an old example. Someone's
Yes.
going to build the temple. We need a church. The community needs its church. Someone's got to build that. The ego says, I'll build it. And the affection behind the building says, I'll give you my affection. It's a bargain. It's a tribal, supportive, sensitive bargain.
It is.
Because if that affection goes away, that work stops. And if that work stops, the affection goes away. It's not about enslavement. I've enslaved you with my affection. That can happen. But it's not supposed to be about that at all. It's supposed to be about literally, I'm affectionate towards this work. And the work says, I'm working and I'm sad. If I'm a generator, I'm satisfied with this work. I like it. I like doing what I'm doing. It's burning up my energy, and I have the love of my affection on the other side. And this becomes a bargain. It's in a ratchet wave. That bargain gets tested when that wave goes up or down. When it goes way up, the wave is happy. When that wave starts to ratchet down, mama's going to yell at papa. And papa's going to be a cat in a hot tin roof and say, yes, dear. And then mama's going to turn her affection back on. It doesn't have to work mom and dad. It can work dad, mom. It can work two friends.
Yes.
It's not gay. It's not gay. It's not this. It's not sexual. It can be sexual. It can be very sexual. Sometimes sex is a bargain. Hey, I worked my ass off, and I'm supposed to be able to, have some at least twice a week, sweetie. A guy could say to a girl, or a girl could say to a guy. That would be a tribal bargain. You know what I mean? And what does it do? It keeps the kids being made in a marriage where they can be preserved, and that's what we want. It's not the law, but it is what we want. And the more that can be true, the healthier we will be. So these emotional streams, the ratchet wave that is keynoted with support and sensitivity, the individual spike wave, it spikes up or it spikes down. It's keynoted by empowerment, empowering the other, empowering yourself. And then the outside wave, the experiential collective wave. This is the wave of experiential awareness. I just want to experience it right now. I want to go on a boat and watch that tiger shark eat a seal. Well, that's rather gruesome, but they want to do it. They want to do it. So that's the crash wave. Add these waves up. We've got a ratchet wave ratcheting into the spike wave, spiking onto a crash wave. Add them all up in a group of people, and you've got people yelling at each other until they are aware of their nature.
Yes, and we're seeing a lot of that play out into the collective at the moment.
Yep. This social media snafu and nastiness that's going on, as much as I can't stand it, I can't help diagnostically, but to use this tool diagnostically and recognize, hey, sort of like you purposely take your kid to go get chicken pox. You have a chicken pox party so everyone gets it, because later in life you don't get chicken pox. If you have it when you're young, you get over it easy. Mm-hmm. Hey, I think we might need some of this madness, social media madness, and I'm glad it's social media instead of guns and, well, it is guns in Russia now and Ukraine.
It is.
We don't want that.
Did you want to touch base on what's going on right now?
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do this. We'll do the other two streams, chunks of streams of awareness next week. So we got through the emotional streams of awareness.
Perfect.
On the left-hand side, there's the splenic streams, and up top, there's the mental streams, all aware.
Perfect.
Yep. So is this the just now chart that you just had?
This is the just now chart, yes.
Okay, so right now, look at that gate 49. Oh, look at all that freaking stuff that is lit up in black. We're looking at what's in black more than anything, because that's what's transiting now.
Okay.
The children being born right now are being born with this very body graph. So every
Yep.
child being born for the next month or so is still a manifesting generator. So from all the way back in like October of last year, all the way through to whenever, what are those nodes? Those nodes are in 8-1. So as those nodes shift out of 8-1, we will finally be out of this, 2034 on the left. We got maybe another month of this. So we'll have had half a year of nothing but manifesting generators being born throughout this whole planet. That's it.
Okay.
No child has been born on this planet that is not a manifesting generator from October or so of last year all the way through to somewhere into April of this year. Not one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a slew of busy manifesting generating children just coming into the world.
Yes.
So 15 years and 20 years from now, we better have this shit straight, or else these kids are going to be busy acting like atomic bombs rather than busy with their energy naturally as themselves in response. If ever there was a call for parents to say, I had a kid in this time frame, let us teach you how this child is made to respond so you can start to see his or her truth. You'll be amazed at where their truth comes from. And they start to give it to you right away. You don't have to wait till they speak.
Yep.
So in the world today, we have a clash. We have a clash between the collective forces. Remember, the keynote for the collective is sharing. I must share. And the keynote for the tribe is no. You can share all you want, but not if it doesn't support. It needs to be sensitive to support. And look at what two channels are defined currently. The channel of recognition, which goes 41 up to 30. We spoke about that.
Yep, this one.
Yeah.
This one.
All the children being born have this channel. However, that what's in red is we've already transited past that.
Okay. Okay.
So we're waiting for it to leave. It's literally 88 degrees of the sun before us. That won't be here as it relates to what's affecting the adults on the planet right now. But all the children are being born with this channel of recognition. And notice the inside stream, the tribal one we spent a lot of time on.
Yep.
Look at it's going right up to 37. It's reaching at 4. It's waiting for 40 to do the work. So every child born with this is born with this emotional, heavily emotional definition. This is a powerful kid. This kid is loaded with a single definition, and this is sheer power. I mean, look at all that.
Yes.
Look at all that manifesting ability going straight to the throat. Look at all that emotional awareness this child has the availability to become part of. It's insane. And I would want to teach this child. They've even got gate 36 crisis. This kid is going to always want to try to experience the next new thing. Always.
And that's exactly what we need to come into the planet.
Yes,
So.
it is. As an awake child, if they come in as another sleepwalker, unaware, with their parents fully unaware, they will be homogenized before they hit school. They will get homogenized in school, blah, 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 by society, commercialism, all of it. And this will just become, they will start to wonder if their child has emotional problems. There's no such thing as an emotional problem. I hate to tell you, there's emotions.
Yeah.
There's emotions. So look at this right now, 49, 6, and 37. These are all black. These are transiting us right now.
Yep.
So 37, look on the black set of information on the right. 37, the affection that needs to get spit out is in our voice. It's in Mercury. We want to communicate that affection, the foundation of what is affection. We are right now building the foundation of what is going to be affection. I'm actually, my heart is lightened by this because maybe that'll help bust through. Where's 49? Look at 49 is way down there on one of the outer planets. That is Saturn.
Right here? Is this what we're looking?
Yep, Saturn. So 49 is in Saturn, so it's going to be there for a while. So the principles by which we will govern ourselves over time is going to be here for a while. We'll be working on these principles. This will be transiting us. I have a gate 19 in my chart, so I will be emotional Now, this whole time, it's not my choice. I have no choice but to be, I will be supportively, sensitively emotional this whole time. I'll go up and down on a wave. And now that I look at this, it makes good sense why I had that dream I told you about this morning. It was all about my family and where we couldn't bring the support. I woke up with this bad dream and they wouldn't support me, and I was kept at a distance from them, yet I could see them. And I got angry. The manifesting generator in me responded to that with anger and frustration. And I was so frustrated, I couldn't articulate to them what was the deal. All that was coming out of my mouth in my dream was F this and F that. Not very constructive. So if I'm prone to it, we're all prone to it.
Absolutely.
We have to watch it. We just have to, so in our awake world, we can witness this.
And it's amazing that you say that, because I am going through something similar, and it is getting me to the point where I'm frustrated because I can't articulate the way that I want to.
Do we have your body graph? Do you want to look at that? Or are we going to run out of time here?
We've been on for about an hour now.
Let's take a few minutes just to describe these collective versus not collective versus tribal forces. So, as an overriding sort of archetype of an example, the collective is the Davos crowd, the Klaus Schwab crowd, the Bill Gates crowd, the Justin Trudeau crowd, the people that are trying to make one collective world order.
Yep.
That's the collective notion. Let's all get together and share one thing. Tribe says, I don't like that. That's not my tribe. You can have your one thing, but just don't interfere with my tribe.
Correct.
We'll join your collective as long as we can stay sovereign as our tribe. Humanity needs that diversity. We not only need it, we require it. And all the tribes will cooperate and share once we're all awake, or enough of us are awake to our nature. Suddenly, the tribe won't mind that it's working for the collective to some degree, because other tribes in the collective will work and deliver the needed resources to them. You know, if you have a tribe in somewhere in the heart of somewhere, Texas oil country, well, there's not a lot of farmland right there around all those oil buildings, right? There's oil rigs. So they're not going to be growing the food, but they're going to be pumping the petrol that runs the tractors. So the petrol tribe is like, hey, I got my tools for my petrol. I love my job. A bunch of generators are there. They're happy, turning screws, pounding things, making oil come out of the ground, right? Driving big trucks. And the ladies are doing the same thing. And some people are in the offices making it run. And the people on the farms in the Midwest somewhere, wherever, they're growing the stuff and milking their cows, and they're shipping their shit back and forth. We can all be part of the Davos crowd collective if they want to have it. Just don't give us a freaking carbon credit and tell us how we're going to live our freaking life. And don't tell us we're going to have nothing and be happy. Fuck you. I'm not doing it. There will be what you see with the truckers. There is a trucker tribe. Now, why does that trucker tribe speak to us so intensely? It's because those guys, I just moved my green screen. Sorry, I get a little animated here. Those guys,
get animated.
Yes, because those lucky bastards that are in those trucks that are down there, they're standing up for our tribe, the American tribe. The American tribe has a constitution that gives us the middle stream. Remember the middle stream, the individual empowered way to find our own spirit, right? We discussed that. That's an emotional awareness. Well, it spiked. It spiked into a convoy. Tough shit. That convoy is going to freaking grow, you know. It's supposed to, because right now, conditioning us are principles and the emotional awareness to have a wave in the first place. Gate 6 is there. Where is Gate 6? It's in the first line. It's in the earth. Look at that. We are coming out of Eden. We are in the cross of Eden right now. That is what is transiting us. And 36. So right now on planet Earth, we have crisis and friction. That's what we can count on. And how? It's tribal. With what? Some 37 communicated affection. So right now, we will be communicating affection to our truckers, supporting our American tribe. And with any luck, everyone will hear the call and get to their own state capitals and start picketing the Capitol, saying, screw you, leave our bodies alone. Screw you, get rid of your emergency authorizations. And screw you, we're voting you all out. Every last one of you needs to go. And through you, someone from our tribe who doesn't know dick about politics is going to dust off their farm clothes and run for freaking office. And guess what? We're all going to vote them in, even if they don't know shit, because we know they're at least going to be supportive and sensitive to the bargains that we have in this country granted us by the Constitution of the United States. And those truckers are going to keep there. And guess what? We're going to keep going on to a PayPal or wherever, wherever we go. You know what? We're going to go to Give Sun Go, and we're going to give those truckers money so that they can continue to support their shit. And if the cops try and take away the collective police, who most of them are tribal in their living situation, being given marching orders by a collective government that thinks it's going to rule our government, which it is ruling our government, by the way. If they think they're going to send cops out to stop citizens walking with gas cans and petrol cans to go fill up those rigs so that they can still keep running and stay warm, they got another thing coming. You know, they might get some of them, but they're not going to get all of them. We have the right to protest. Listen to me. I'm talking like a tribal person right now.
Yes, you are. And I love it. I love everything that you're saying.
Perfect for me, because I also understand the collective. I don't want the collective to go away. The collective shares all its juicy, warm, great experiences. It was the collective experience that gave us a cell phone. I want to experience what it's like to talk to this person from 100 miles away while I'm driving down the road. I want to do it from on the moon. That's our experiential way. Let's share that. I love it. Share it. The only problem is don't share it and impose it. Share it. Share it is not imposing it. The tribe will impose its will. Notice that that tribal stream of awareness, it doesn't go to the throat. It's the one stream of awareness that doesn't go to the throat. It goes to the tribe, to the ego, to the will of the tribe. The will of the tribe says, I will give you my affection, and we have made a deal, and there are some principles, and there's a lot of pressure adrenalizing these principles, so don't you worry. We will be able to move this along. We do need to get that work done, but we are tribal, and the will of the ego will be done. And if you try and take the gasoline and the diesel fuel away from the will of our trucker tribe right now, we have a problem. The collective will clash with the tribe. The real way of humanity forward is for the collective to say, hey, we're doing it anyways, but we have to agree that the individuals inside the tribal unit remain whole, fully whole. That means you got a Constitution of the United States. Yeah, you can say whatever the hell you want, including fuck you. Period. Yeah. Yeah. Period. So I'm living out my design right now. I'm speaking my truth in the moment. Good manifesting generator. You know, feels good. I'm emotional because the transit program gave me an emotional awareness. I'm aware of the emotional need to support. I have a definition until Saturn leaves gate 49, which will take months because Saturn moves slow. So
I love this because you are showing people exactly what it is to be authentically you.
Yeah.
In the moment.
It's fun. I like it.
I love it. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah. And you're all supposed to love you. So come get your design read. Let your husband's design read. Get your kids most of all. And come see how this world is coming together, man. We need to see this stuff. Let's wake up.
Absolutely. Let's wake up.
Good morning,
I think that's a wonderful note to start closing up on. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, Jen, let's talk through a little bit of strategy here. Next week, can talk more about what the tribe is doing, because let's look at, by next week, see on that Sun Earth where the cursor is right now, 36 and 6.1. Okay, we're in a perfect spot. That is going to go all the way through gate 6.1 is going to go all the way to gate 6.6, and the same with 36. So it's got about a week here, 6 days. So by the time we're getting together, this will have left the sky, conditioning us, and the next one will have come in. If you pull up the wheel, let's see what's next.
Let's see.
And we'll talk about that along with the next streams of awareness. Let's do that.
Let's see. Oops.
Actually, I think people got a lot of good stuff out of this one.
I do too. I think, well, every single one of our episodes. This wheel?
Yep, that's the wheel. So 36.
Okay.
Let's
30 right here.
36 and 6. Where's 36?
Right here to the right or left, I mean.
I see it. Oh, we're moving into the vessel of love. So the crisis must bring love. Universal love.
Well,
Universal
because
love.
in the end, love wins.
That's right. These vessel gates, 25 over to 45 and 10 down to 12, they're the ones that are in yellow. These vessel gates mark the seasons. Notice we're coming into the equinox.
I was just going to say that.
The love of humanity marks the equinox of spring.
Well, that is yes, that's the birth. That's
the love of all things universally. The love of humanity marks the solstice of summer. The love of the self, 46 on the right, marks the equinox again of the fall. And then that's the love of the body. And then the love of the self, gate 10 up top, marks winter. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so that's what we're coming into. So we will be moving from crisis and shock and all of this stuff into the vessel of love. So that's bringing something new. Remember, 36 simply said, I'm in experience. I want to experience the experience. What is it? Where does it go to when it's done with that experience? Universal love. What is humanity here sewing up? Remember, I showed you how it sews up through the next one, goes into the next gate. That genetic sewing process is going to give us a vessel of love. That's the crisis. I'm in experience with the love. So that's what we're going into. Yay.
Well, that goes back to the whole like learning how to communicate, because it is like it's going to be a new experience for humanity to learn how to communicate and express unconditional love.
Right.
Because none of us have been taught, we've all come in to parents who were still sleeping and we were conditioned, and we're bringing the awareness to break out of this condition. I feel like none of us have been taught what true unconditional love is.
Right. Because that true unconditional love is to the self first. We're still human beings. It's to the self first, and then we project it out to the other.
So now we're coming into where our cells are literally going to be teaching us how to love unconditionally in a
literally, Jen, you nailed it.
Tribal way.
Yep.
That's true to our nature.
It's true to our nature. Yep. And sitting in the middle of all of that is the individual, the freak, who has their own individual spirit. They will keep bringing to the tribe. The tribe needs that spirit. Yep. So that's what we're moving into. So next week we'll see how the crisis and the friction played out. We win.
Yeah, right. We'll do an update on that next week. All right, guys. I think this is a perfect way to wrap up this show. As always, please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the channel. Today we are broadcasting on our brand new YouTube station. We will be promoting that more this week. And also we will have the page up for you to sign up to our newsletter. So make sure that you stay tuned for all that information. We're still tweaking and getting this channel up and running, but by the end of this week, especially going into April, we're going to be rocking and rolling on.
That's Human Design Advantage on YouTube.
Human Design Advantage on YouTube. And I am currently working on getting our podcast. It is on Anchor. And that will be, you can find it on iTunes, Google, Spotify, and all of that. So we'll be going global outside of YouTube, and it is Human Design Advantage. You'll find a link to the new channel down below, and I will be posting it so people can go and follow and subscribe.
Bam. This is good. I'll see you next week, and we'll talk to you soon, Jen.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, we'll see you next week. Love you too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Take care for now.
Okay. Bye.